Hey guys, what's going on? It's Blake Ruffino from Are You Serious Sports, and this AYS short is brought to you by BetOnline.ag. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to bet on all your sporting action. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, scores, odds, and updates. It's literally the best way for you to place all your bets, and the best thing is it's free to sign up. Head on over to their website. Again, that's betonline.ag. Use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus for your first deposit. Again, that's betonline.ag. Betonline.ag.
And I appreciate all of you that are sending me the congratulations. I really do appreciate it. C King, others. I see a lot of people in here, and I do greatly appreciate it. We started this with a hope and a dream, and the things that we're moving into and the things that we're doing to make this show and AYS a whole lot better is based off of you. We have 441 people currently in here live, and after the break, we usually have a lot more. But the reason I do this is, one, I want to cover LSU. Number two, it's something I'm greatly passionate about. Number three, it's just, look, when you have a hope and dream, don't let anybody tell you no. So here's to 400. I didn't get a drink. We're going to stick with the water. But I've been watching football from Kevin Falk, Booger McFarland, Marcus Spears, Michael Clayton, Matt Malk, Jacob Hester, Jeremy Hill, Brandon Taylor, Tyron Matthew, Morris Claiborne, Jamal Adams, Trey White. So many great players and countless players that have been absolutely amazing at LSU. First-round picks, Jamarcus Russell, the number 1 overall pick to Oakland. So many great players while at LSU that went on into the NFL and had great careers. As a former offensive lineman and a guy that ultimately was not able to play offensive line at LSU, but a guy who admired guys like Andrew Whitworth, my favorite center of all time, Ben Wilkerson, so many players that we followed. None of them, Glenn Dorsey included, none of them have ever had the impact that Joe Burrow has had on LSU and what he will continue to have at LSU. Guys, God forbid Joe Burrow win a Super Bowl in 2 weeks. God forbid. Because it would be the first time that a guy has won a national title, a Heisman Trophy, and a Super Bowl.
What's really interesting is Harold Perkins, right? That's the guy that, everybody wants to know.
Your number one guy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're number one guy, correct?
Yeah, I think he's the best player in 2022. Now, what's really interesting is we still don't know what his best position would be, but, sometimes you watch someone and they're just such a great football player, they'll kind of sort of figure it out, right? And that's what he's special at, right? He just makes plays. He's not, the lankiest guy. He doesn't look like a pass rushing edge linebacker. Him and Jacoby Matthews have very similar body types, which is kind of strange. And we look at him a little bit differently, but he's just special, right? He's got great ball skills. He's got a great nose for the ball. And he is my number one guy over Travis Hunter, over Walter Nolan, over Evan Stewart. And I think he's transcended. I really do. And
public outcry about Brian Kelly missing one national signing day when he's out at an NILSU event on a Wednesday night speaking with 18, 20 millionaires that want to give money and be a part of name, image, and likeness. Hashtag priorities. Now, the people of the media won't agree with me, but there's a new age coming. There's a new era at LSU. For that alone, I feel as if that we need to take a step back and give the man his due time. Why is it that we can't have anything nice around here? Why don't – 2 points and I'll end it here. Why isn't really anybody in the media getting on Will Wade about the basketball team right now? Is it because he gives you media coverage? Is it because he gives you media access? Is it because he tells you what's going on in recruiting? Love Will, love it. Fantastic. If Will wants to do that, fantastic. Absolutely fine. Have no problem with it. But now you aren't getting mad at Will Wade and the adjustments that he's not doing with this LSU basketball team, but you're getting Brian Kelly because he's doing something. He started with the 40th best class in recruiting, guys, and he ended it. And he's not done, by the way, because they got more spots to fill in this recruiting roster and this recruiting, I guess you could say the rest of the recruiting for 2022. Guys, he's not done. and they're number 6 per 247's composite score rankings. 6th. I just feel that we need to take a step back. Not everything around LSU has to be negative, because all it seems to hear that I hear and things that are sent to me is negativity around Brian Kelly. Last point here, and this is really going to piss off some of the people that I grew up with and the Hammond natives. You know what's interesting? Do you hold Nick Saban to the same standards? Do you hold him to the same standards? It's a common question. Because if you hold him to the same standards, his defensive coordinator just got arrested for a DUI. Not going to get into specifics of why Pete Golding or what happened there. Things that I hear, things that I don't hear. It's not my place to talk about. I think it's funny that, and everybody talks about, well, Blake, what about the legalities? This isn't the first time someone's been arrested, and you can come out there and say, guys, listen, here's our press release. We have nothing to say. We're internally investigating the matter. Per Nick Saban, we're investigating the matter internally. But you don't hold him to the same standards that you hold Brian Kelly. And if before you say, well, I don't cover LSU, I don't cover Alabama, I cover LSU, I'm worried about the brand that's around LSU. You know what protects the brand? You know what helps the brand? By you going out there and asking Nick Saban the hard questions too, and asking him why he's not talking about his defensive coordinator that just got arrested for a DUI. It's not the problem that he has. Here's the problem that Blake Ruffino and AYS has. The problem that I have is can you really name a whole lot, even from a local media standpoint or a national media standpoint, that's been positive around LSU over the last couple of months and years? You know, the thing that I see is that in January of last year, LSU was hit by a RICO case from Sharon Lewis in Title IX. Fast forward 12 months, and the RICO case has been dropped. And some of the things about Title IX in the Ed Orgeron case, Ed Orgeron has now been placed out and dropped out of the Title IX case, not due to anything that the judge has said, but the plaintiffs and the people who are going after the lawsuit said Ed Orgeron is out of the case. But we're not talking about that as a media coverage. Nobody's talking about that. So LSU, that was sued for $100 million, is no longer being sued for $100 million. Your former ex-head coach is no longer also being sued, and nobody talks about it. But we make it a big deal. We made it a huge deal when the news came out. What they've done is, and it could be smart, is they're taking care of their current players on the roster. That's what they're doing. And then when you take care of your current players on the roster, then you can go and do things in recruiting. Here's where it could all backfire for Texas A&M. Think about this, which nobody's talking about. If you're a player currently on Texas A&M's team, and you're hearing about multiple 100,000 and 100,000 deals for multiple of these freshmen coming in, and you've been here, and the kid hasn't done anything, what do you think's going on inside that locker room when a new freshman recruit, maybe the number one recruit that they have, or whoever it may be, drives up in a Bentley, drives up in a Dodge Charger? What do you think that kid's going to be feeling? Versus the LSU deal, where they're taking care of the current players that are committed, who are not leaving, who are not going into the transfer portal, who are not doing anything, who want to be a part of the program, and then trickling it down to the recruits. What are you going to do, and are you going to say that LSU is behind in name, image, and likeness if 10 recruits from this current Texas A&M class goes into the transfer portal after getting their $100,000 and goes elsewhere? What are you planning to do when multiple starters or people leave Texas A&M, when that locker room starts fracturing because they're hearing about the multiple $100,000 deals that current freshmen or current recruits are getting? You don't know what's about to go on here. And you know what fractures the locker room quicker than anything? And especially, we've seen it happen in the NFL. What do you think is going to happen with 18 to 21-year-old kids?